This is the Washington Times front page for the first day of June, Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden is trying to assure Americans that the Federal Reserve will get control of record inflation, despite the price of gas hitting another high. Joseph Clark and Dave Boyer report the president met with Fed Chair Jerome Powell in a rare White House gathering, saying the Fed's decisions on monetary policy will address the crisis for the American people. White House National Economic Council Director Brian Deese was part of the meeting, calling it very constructive. He declined to say whether the president told the Fed chairman that the central bank is moving at the right speed to address rising prices. Consumer prices rose 8.3% in April, near a 40-year high, and gasoline hit a new nationwide high of $4.62 per gallon this week, according to AAA. The Fed raised interest rates by 0.5 of a percentage point on May 4th in an effort to cool inflation. Powell has signaled that the central bank plans similar hikes in June and July. A jury has acquitted former Hillary Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussmann of a felony charge of intentionally deceiving the FBI. Jeff Murdoch reports the jury of 7 women and 5 men deliberated for roughly 6 hours over 2 days before acquitting Sussmann after a 2-week trial in federal court in Washington. It's a major blow to special counsel John Durham's investigation of misconduct by U.S. intelligence agencies probing theories about Trump-Russia collusion. It was the first trial in a case brought by Durham since he was appointed more than 3 years ago. A study from the Brookings Institution and the Alliance for Securing Democracy finds that Google's search engine results are boosting China's preferred narratives about COVID-19's origins and human rights abuses. Ryan Lovelace reports the study found that Google News and YouTube were far more likely to spread Chinese state-run media than Google's main search engine in response to searches about COVID-19 and reported human rights abuses against Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities. Chinese state-sponsored content was featured in the top search results across the board regarding the treatment of Uyghurs in Xinjiang province, and more than 21% of the results were from state-run sources. You can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find all of our podcasts at the Washington Times at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Military strategists say the surprising course of the 3-month-old Russian invasion of Ukraine has added a potentially game-changing aspect to the power of artillery in modern warfare. As Russian forces struggle to gain traction in the fighting, military reporter Mike Glenn reports the Pentagon has provided Ukraine with 90 top-of-the-line M777 howitzers and is running hundreds of Ukrainian troops through special training on the systems. Other NATO members have also provided howitzers for Ukraine's latest phase of the conflict. Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov told Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin that the U.S.-powered artillery cannons are forward in the fight and provide long-range indirect fire capability. The Pentagon says the cannons are ideal for Ukrainian forces and the terrain where they're fighting. And finally, a series of court rulings has checked the White House on some of its executive actions. On May 20th, Judge Robert Summerhays ruled that the Biden administration had cut too many procedural corners to end the Title 42 pandemic border shutdown. Stephen Dinan and Alex Sawyer report judges appointed by former President Trump also have used rulings to ding the president's deportation pause, his attempt to end the Remain in Mexico border policy, and his effort to expand consideration of greenhouse gas emissions in federal policymaking. The judge's supporters say they're standing up to presidential overreach. Opponents say that abuse is rampant, with plaintiffs calculating where to file lawsuits to find the best climate to overturn some of the orders. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.